Did you know that drivers over 70 are involved in more fatal crashes per mile than teenagers? Shocking, right? And California lawmakers have taken notice. With new laws set to hit in 2026, senior drivers could face the toughest road regulations in state history, and most people have no idea what's coming. If you're over 65 or have a parent or loved one who is, these changes could impact everything from renewing your license to how and even when you're allowed to drive. These aren't just tweaks, they're major shifts that could strip away your independence if you're not prepared. Imagine needing a doctor's note just to keep driving to the grocery store. Stay with us because in this video, we're breaking down the 10 biggest changes coming, including what the state isn't telling you, and what you can do right now to protect your freedom behind the wheel. Number 1. Stricter vision testing requirements. By 2026, California will mandate annual vision screenings for all drivers aged 70 and older, regardless of your driving record. That's right, even if you've been driving safely for decades, the DMV won't just take your word for it anymore. This isn't about punishing seniors, it's about cold, hard data. Studies show that by age 75, the risk of crash involvement doubles due to age-related vision decline, including cataracts, glaucoma, and reduced night vision. What's more alarming, many seniors don't even realize their vision is fading. It can happen gradually until one day you struggle to read a sign, react to a light change, or recognize a pedestrian until it's too late. And under these new laws, failure to pass a vision test could immediately suspend your license. No warnings, no grace period. But here's the good news. You can take control before the DMV does. Schedule annual eye exams, not just when something feels wrong. Opt for contrast-enhancing lenses or anti-glare coatings, especially if you drive at night. Keep your windshield spotless and your headlights bright. Every small step adds up to a safer driving experience. And if you've had eye surgery, like cataract removal, make sure the DMV has your updated medical clearance. Under the new system, even past procedures will be scrutinized to determine eligibility. These changes aren't just technical, they're deeply personal. Driving means freedom, autonomy, and dignity. Don't wait for the DMV to challenge your ability. Prove you're ahead of the curve. We pour countless hours into researching and creating videos that truly matter. So if you found even one tip useful, give us that one-click support, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments, what do you think about these upcoming laws? Fair or overreach? Let's start the conversation. Number 2. Mandatory cognitive testing. Imagine walking into the DMV, expecting a routine license renewal, only to be handed a cognitive test. That's the new reality California is planning for senior drivers. Starting in 2026, those 75 and older may be required to undergo mental fitness screenings before being approved to drive. And no, this isn't just a quick name today's date quiz. These evaluations will test memory, reaction time, decision-making, and the ability to handle sudden hazards. Why now? Because according to research from the National Institute on Aging, reaction times slow down by up to 30% in adults over 70. Cognitive decline, whether from normal aging or early signs of dementia, can impact how quickly you brake, notice a child crossing the street, or merge into traffic. And with California roads getting more congested and unpredictable, the state wants to know, is your brain still road ready? This isn't fear-mongering, it's preparation. Luckily, there's plenty you can do to stay sharp. Incorporate daily brain games like Sudoku or word puzzles. Keep physically active. Studies show that just 20 minutes of walking a day boosts cognitive function. And don't underestimate the power of sleep. REM cycles are directly linked to memory retention and mental clarity. If you're tech-savvy, explore driving simulators or apps that test your reflexes. The earlier you start training your mind, the more confident you'll be when the DMV starts asking tough questions. You've spent a lifetime earning your license. Don't let an unexpected test catch you off guard. Start strengthening your driving brain today because by 2026, you might have to prove it. We don't just make videos, we craft tools for your life. If this helped you or someone you care about, please hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it means the world to us. Drop a comment. Would you pass a cognitive driving test today? Let's see who's ready. Number 3. No more mail-in renewal. For decades, many senior drivers in California enjoyed the convenience of renewing their driver's license by mail. No lines, no appointments, just a quick form and you're good for years. But starting in 2026, that comfort is being revoked. Seniors aged 75 and up will be required to renew their licenses in person, with no exceptions. This change may sound small, but it signals a major shift in how the state views aging behind the wheel. Officials believe that in-person renewals allow for better screening of physical and cognitive health, as DMV staff can observe drivers' mobility, alertness, and responsiveness in real time. For those who struggle with health or transportation, this adds a serious barrier. And that's the problem. Not every senior is unfit to drive, but this law paints with a broad brush. It could mean longer wait times, more paperwork, and greater stress, especially for those who live alone, have medical issues, or lack nearby DMV centers. So what can you do? Prepare early. Don't wait for that renewal notice. Book appointments in advance, gather your medical records, and make sure your documents are up to date. Consider visiting the DMV during off-peak hours or scheduling transportation ahead of time if needed. And if mobility is a concern, reach out to senior advocacy groups who can help you navigate the process. Being proactive could be the difference between keeping your freedom and losing it over a missed appointment. These laws are coming, but your preparation starts now. We're not just sharing news, we're helping you stay ahead of it. If this gave you even one tip you didn't know, subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it supports hours of research. Comment, do you think in-person renewals are fair or too much? Your opinion matters here. Number 4. Required medical clearance. Starting in 2026, certain health conditions will require seniors to get medical clearance before they can renew or keep their driver's license. We're talking about chronic illnesses like diabetes, Parkinson's disease, epilepsy, and early-stage dementia, conditions that, while manageable, can affect your reflexes, awareness, and safety on the road. Under these new regulations, if your medical records flag any high-risk condition, the DMV can request a driver medical evaluation. And yes, that means your doctor will have to sign off that you're still safe to drive. If they decline, your license could be delayed, restricted, or even revoked. But here's the twist: you might not even be notified right away. Some reports suggest the DMV could be integrating with electronic health record systems, meaning this could all happen quietly, without a direct request from you. So how do you stay in the driver's seat? Literally. First, talk to your doctor now. Don't wait for a letter from the DMV. Ask if any medications or diagnoses might raise a red flag. Keep your health records updated and organized, and get familiar with the DMV's medical forms so you're not caught off guard. Also, consider requesting a voluntary driver medical evaluation ahead of time, especially if you've recently had surgery, changed medications, or been diagnosed with something new. It shows initiative, and in some cases, it might speed up your renewal. These new laws aren't meant to punish, they're about safety. But staying informed and taking charge of your medical story might be the only way to keep your independence intact. Creating these videos takes real time, care, and passion, so if you're still watching, give back with just one click by subscribing. And drop a comment. Do you trust doctors to decide if you're fit to drive? We'd love to hear your take. Number 5. Advanced driving tests. Gone are the days when a quick loop around the block could renew your license. Starting in 2026, California will introduce enhanced road tests specifically for senior drivers, designed to assess your ability to handle modern, high-pressure driving situations. These aren't the basic exams you took decades ago. Think multi-lane merging, unexpected pedestrian crossings, fast-paced intersections, and even simulated emergency scenarios. DMV officials argue that today's driving environment is far more complex, with distracted drivers, tighter traffic flow, and faster vehicles. and they want to ensure every driver, regardless of age, can respond accordingly. Here's what's different. The new tests are dynamic and stress-based. They don't just evaluate whether you can turn or park, they assess how you respond under pressure. Hesitation, confusion, or delayed reactions could be considered red flags, and once flagged, your license could be limited or denied entirely. So how can you prepare? Start by taking a senior refresher driving course. These are often offered through AAA, AARP, or local senior centers and simulate the exact scenarios that could appear on the new tests. Also, consider practicing with a family member or instructor in busier traffic environments, not just quiet streets. The more exposure you have to real-world driving stress, the better. Driving is a skill, and like any skill, it needs to be updated, sharpened, and tested. If you want to stay on the road in 2026 and beyond, now is the time to retrain, not just retain. Every second we spend making these videos is for people like you who care about staying safe, independent, and informed. So please, subscribe with one click. It fuels everything we do. And tell us, would you pass a modern road test today? Let's find out in the comments.
Number 6. Insurance rate penalties. By 2026, it's not just the DMV keeping an eye on older drivers. Insurance companies are getting in on it too. Under updated regulations, insurers in California will have expanded permission to factor in age-related health risks when calculating your car insurance premiums. That means if you're flagged as a higher-risk senior due to cognitive decline, slowed reaction times, or medical conditions, you could see your rates spike, even without a single accident on your record. Let's break it down. Traditionally, insurers relied mostly on driving history and vehicle type, but with the 2026 shift, they'll now be able to access risk assessment data gathered through DMV screenings, cognitive test results, and possibly even anonymized health data, with your consent. If the system identifies you as slower to react or more likely to get disoriented behind the wheel, you might pay hundreds, sometimes thousands more per year. The most frustrating part? You may not even realize you've been labeled as high risk until your renewal notice arrives. No phone call, no warning, just a hefty premium and a big question mark. So how can you fight back? Start by completing a defensive driving course. Many insurers offer discounts up to 15% for certified senior drivers who take them. Also, monitor your DMV profile closely. Know what's being recorded and how it could affect you. And if your rates do spike, shop around. Not all insurers weigh the same data equally. Don't let assumptions about your age cost you more. Stay sharp, stay aware, and protect your wallet. Our mission is simple. Give you the facts others overlook. If you value that, hit subscribe. It's one click and it keeps us going. And we're curious, have your car insurance rates already changed as you've gotten older? Let us know below. Number 7. Conditional licenses. Imagine being told you're only allowed to drive during daylight hours, or that you're banned from freeway driving altogether. Sounds extreme? Well, that's exactly what California's 2026 law revisions could mean for senior drivers. Under the new system, the DMV will be empowered to issue conditional licenses for individuals over 75. Licenses that limit driving privileges based on medical, cognitive, or performance factors. Let's say your eyesight is fine during the day, but struggles at night. The DMV could grant you a license that only allows daytime driving. Or if your reaction times aren't sharp enough for high-speed highway travel, you might get approved for local roads only. These restrictions will be based on evaluations, test results, and medical feedback. Customized, yes, but also inflexible once assigned. To many, this feels like a quiet revocation of freedom. Driving isn't just about going places, it's about independence, spontaneity, and self-reliance. But the state argues that conditional licenses offer a safer compromise. Instead of pulling licenses entirely, they allow limited mobility while reducing accident risk. So what can you do? Proactively address any red flags, vision, reaction time, or medical concerns before the DMV does. Also,
Take your driving tests seriously. Any hesitation or uncertainty could be used to justify these limitations. And if you do receive a conditional license, you can appeal it, but only if you've already built a case through your doctor, driving school, or reevaluation. The road ahead may be limited, but you still have control over the steering wheel. Every view, like, and click helps us continue this important work. So if you want to stay one step ahead of laws like these, subscribe. It's just a click, but makes a big impact. And we'd love to know, would a limited license feel like safety or a setback for you? Share your take.
Number 8. Health records integration. Here's a game changer. Starting in 2026, California is moving toward digital integration between the DMV and healthcare providers. What does that mean for senior drivers? Potentially, your electronic health records, EHRs, could be shared with the DMV automatically with your consent. And that consent might be buried in fine print you don't even notice. This new system is being promoted as a way to streamline safety, helping the DMV identify health conditions that might impact driving, like seizure disorders, memory loss, or even prescription side effects. But critics are concerned about privacy. If you've ever been diagnosed with a condition that could raise a red flag, even temporarily, it could be used to challenge your fitness to drive. Worse, you may not get the chance to explain or update your status before a DMV medical review is triggered. And once that happens, you're put into a bureaucratic maze of paperwork, doctor sign-offs, and possibly restricted or suspended driving privileges. So, what can you do? First, read everything. Whether it's a renewal form or a checkbox at your next doctor visit, know exactly what information you're agreeing to share. Second, speak to your physician about what will and won't be shared with the DMV under the new system. Proactive communication could prevent misunderstandings that might cost you your license. This is about more than just data. It's about how much control you still have over your personal information and your independence. The system is changing, but staying informed puts you in the driver's seat. If you've made it this far, you're clearly someone who values the truth behind the headlines. Help us keep this content coming. Subscribe with one click. And tell us, would you feel safe knowing the DMV has access to your health records? Let's talk privacy.
Number 9. Increased public reporting. Your own family could trigger a DMV review. One of the most controversial changes coming in 2026 is the expansion of public reporting systems, meaning any concerned citizen, including a family member, neighbor, or even a passerby, can report a senior driver they believe is unsafe. And here's the kicker. That report can trigger a mandatory DMV evaluation, even if you've never had a ticket or accident. California already has limited reporting channels, but the new laws aim to streamline and expand access, allowing more people, especially family caregivers, to file online concerns anonymously. On the surface, this is about safety, but in practice, it opens the door to conflict, misunderstanding, and even abuse. Imagine your adult child worried after one small fender bender reports you just to be safe. Suddenly, you're dealing with surprise paperwork, vision and cognitive tests, or a restricted license, all without due process. One opinion could upend your freedom. So how do you protect yourself? First, keep a clear driving record. It's your strongest defense. Second, be open with your loved ones. If they see you taking steps, regular eye exams, defensive driving courses, safe driving habits, they'll feel reassured and less likely to overreact. Third, know your rights. If you're reported, you can request a reevaluation or appeal, but only if you act quickly and understand the process. Don't let someone else's fear define your future. Be proactive, be prepared, and stay in charge. We work hard to bring you the facts most people overlook, so if this helped you, please give back with just one click and subscribe. And let us know, should family members be allowed to report seniors to the DMV, or is that going too far? We're all ears. Number 10. Autonomous vehicles in senior transition, a future without driving. While most of the 2026 law changes feel like restrictions, here's one that feels more like a seismic shift. California is actively pushing toward a future where autonomous vehicles, AVs, take the wheel, especially for senior citizens. Pilot programs are already rolling out in cities like San Francisco and Los Angeles, testing self-driving taxis in senior rideshare services aimed at replacing personal driving altogether. Sounds convenient? Maybe, but it also hints at something deeper: the possibility that the state is preparing seniors for a soft phase-out of traditional driving. As AV technology improves and becomes more accessible, officials envision a future where older adults no longer need or are even allowed to drive themselves. For some, that's a relief. No more DMV tests, insurance hassles, or worrying about reaction time. But for others, it feels like the beginning of the end of personal independence, especially in rural areas where AVs aren't available or reliable yet. So what can you do? First, stay informed about local autonomous vehicle services. Some cities offer discounted or even free rides for seniors. Second, explore digital mobility options, apps, training workshops, and ride scheduling platforms. The more familiar you are now, the smoother the transition will be later. And third, speak up. Share your thoughts with local leaders about how this shift impacts your quality of life. Your voice matters in shaping this new landscape. Driving may change, but your independence doesn't have to disappear with it. The road ahead is evolving. Make sure you're in the loop. If you've stuck with us this far, you clearly care about your freedom and your future, so help us keep delivering real value by subscribing with one simple click. And tell us, would you trust a self-driving car to replace your own driving? We'd love to hear your take. Let's face it, 2026 isn't just another year for California's senior drivers. It marks the beginning of a new driving era, where laws, technology, and expectations are shifting faster than ever before. From mandatory vision and cognitive testing to medical clearances, insurance changes, and even AI-driven transportation, the freedom to drive will no longer be taken for granted. It will need to be proven, earned, and defended. But here's the good news: you're not powerless. The fact that you're watching this video already puts you ahead of the curve. With the right preparation, like scheduling eye exams, improving reaction times, taking refresher driving courses, and staying aware of what's changing, you can adapt before the system forces you to. You can stay informed, stay safe, and most importantly, stay independent. Remember, driving isn't just a convenience. For millions of seniors, it represents freedom, dignity, and connection to the world. And while the road may look different in the coming years, that doesn't mean your journey ends. It just means it's time to drive smarter. You've spent a lifetime mastering the road. Now it's time to master the rules that are changing it.